Those of you who have been following this channel for more than 2 weeks know that I'm very soft when it comes to shields in Dark Souls 3. Hell, Black Knight Shield is probably my favorite weapon and I have the most fun when I'm using it. Well, as it turns out, FROMSOFT know about my love to the shield, so they've decided to give me a little gift, because the new Dragonhead Shield introduced with the Ring City DLC is something right off of my wishlist. So naturally today we're continuing the weapon analysis series, inspecting the reasons why Dragonhead Shield is so much fun to use, and well, what's the best use for it. But before we start, I have to say that despite me being super in love with it right off the bat, I don't think it's a super meta weapon and it won't change the balance in PvP. It's definitely not easy cheesy cancer item, but it's just fun to use. So what exactly makes it so valuable for me? Defenses, stability? Well, technically neither. Sure, it has a great fire defense for that kind of shield, but it still loses to Black Knight Shield when it comes to tankiness. Fire defense aside, it has really nothing. It doesn't even block 100% of physical damage, so well, maybe there's something good about its stability. Nothing good here either. It's pretty mediocre shield, that's it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's a bad shield. At this point, it's very obvious that poor defensive capabilities are not doing it any good, and you're probably wondering what's so special about it. Well, the answer is simple. It's weapon art, the Dragon Breath. It has so many cool properties, I don't even know where to start. First, let's inspect the basics. The moment you push weapon art button, the Dragonhead Shield sends an arc of flame covering a hefty bit of everything in front of you. But it's not that simple. It has a lingering hitbox and it covers lots of space. This means that it's a perfect tool to catch trolls without wasting much effort. Land 2 hits with your main hand weapon and go with a shield weapon art instead of an extra hit. There is a good chance your opponent will screw up and get hit by the flames. When it hits, it does hit actually surprisingly pretty fucking hard. It scales well with Fate, but even with base stats it does surprising amount of damage per tick. And the more ticks you land, the more damage you can dish. So ideally, if you are going for the maximum amount of damage you can dish out of that thing, you should be standing up close. This means that it can be a viable option for trades, if you get up close to this. Speaking of trades, did I mention that it has block frames on weapon art? Because it fucking does. It's not really that fast on startup, but once you get into the animation, you are blocking all of the incoming damage. Again, it can be really good for trades, yet it requires precise timing, since it's not that fast. So you have to be careful with it, or at least know when block frames start and when they end. Speaking of its excellent offensive capabilities, it's an amazing combo starter. It can be a bit tricky, and a lot of its success depends on the distance between you and your opponent. But if you do everything right, it can serve as an excellent combo starter. As you can see, somehow, some way, I'm able to combo whole 3 hits using Estoc and Dragon Breath as a starter. So it's pretty fucking amazing. You can set up trades with it, catch rolls and start combos. It just adds so much utility to your setup. I'd consider it to be a real deal, especially when it comes to stuff like Estoc setups, because it might just be as good as Evelyn or Black Knight Shield when it comes to offhand shenanigans. All in all, it's a mediocre shield, but a very unique and excellent tool because of its offensive capabilities. Dragonhead Shield spices up the usual ever boring Dark Souls 3 PvP quite nicely, and I love it for that. If you have any questions regarding this setup, or you just want to share your own setup that involves Dragonhead Shield, you are free to start a discussion in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.